It is indeed a threat to U.S. security and even to our national sovereignty, that a foreign government can actually do that in this nation against American citizens. And also, we must see, in addition to that, I think another thing that we can do is there's a need for an ad hoc task force or coalition to take on issues such as agent provocateurs and infiltration, fusion centers, watch lists. We had some success under the Clinton administration in Janet Reno when we formed a coalition like that, the Coalition to Protect Political Freedom, on the issue of secret evidence. And Bush came along, he told us, he says, I'm going to get rid of secret evidence. We're going to stop secret evidence, and he was right. People went to jail not for secret evidence, they went to jail with no evidence. But in any event, these are some of the things I think that we can do. And finally, I think that one of the things that can also take place is within my own community, the American Muslim community. We must not be afraid. We must stand up. We must stand up to this administration. We must be willing to, unfortunately, the priorities, and I don't think they're bad priorities, but I think we can expand them. I do believe that Allah created us as Muslims to walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. But we give money to build mosques, good. We give money to build private schools, good. And we give money for relief organizations, mainly overseas, good. But we have, as American Muslims in this country, we have enough resources to give money for these type of task force. We must reorganize and have a paradigm shift in the way that we handle our resources. And some of our wealth and money needs to go to many of you out here who are championing important causes as it relates to civil rights and civil liberties. That's something that our community needs to make a paradigm shift in. Also, we must give resources to, I think one of the things that we should do is we should FOIA them to death. I think that we should just continue to FOIA, court. I think that's one of a legalistic approach I think that will bear us fruit, So I think that we should really do that. And I think the Muslim community must be part and parcel of that process and contribute to that process. Also, I think that the Muslim community, and I'm going to go ahead and say it because I don't mind, but we must call to task certain organizations, large organizations, and we must turn off that phone too. I'm so sorry. Just turn it off. There you go. Okay. We must call to accountability of large national Muslim organizations who will encourage the community to don't worry about the FBI spying in our mosques and putting in agent provocateurs. In fact, what you should do is put a big booth out and just, everything is fine. If they come, tell them, talk with them, if you have nothing to hide. This kind of foolishness must be stopped. And I think we have to do it within our own house in the Muslim community. We must take on certain large organizations that have surgically attached their lips to the backside of the FBI. You can applaud for that, it's okay. We must build a strong, united front with other groups, other faith groups, other secular and advocacy organizations. We must build a united front on these issues. And we also must take it to the streets. This April, we're planning a humongous march on Washington to say to the Obama administration that second-class citizenship is not an option. We must be willing to go out into the streets. And also, we must be willing to involve in other direct action campaigns. I think perhaps we need to get about 20 or 30 Muslims. Yep, I can do it. Okay. 20 or 30 Muslims to go to Canada who will know that they're on the watch list, American citizens, of course, and then come back and be willing to go to jail before we tell them about what we read in the Quran, where we pray, how many times we pray, who's our sheikh, what madhab or what form of religious jurisprudence we follow. We must be willing to do that. We must be willing to make those type of sacrifices, and God willing, we will. So let me conclude by just telling you a quick story. I can do it in 2 minutes. Can I get one more minute? Thank you. A quick story about the danger of ambiguity, because I do believe there's some ambiguity about this. We want to put everything on Bush and just give Obama a pass. We can't be ambiguous. It has a danger in ambiguity. We must be straightforward. As Malcolm X used to say, make it plain. And this goes back to the husband who had been married for 25 years. And he forgot his wife's 25th anniversary. Now, 25th anniversary is the silver anniversary. He forgot it completely. At midnight, she looked at the clock, and then she rolled over and looked at him and said, "How could you? How could you?" He said, "What, honey? How could you forget our 25th anniversary?" And he said, "Oh, my God. Honey, please forgive me." And he just went apologizing and apologizing. And he was everything. And so finally he said, "What can I do? Is there any way I can make it up? Is there any way I can make it?" And then finally she said, "I tell you what. It's our 25th anniversary, our silver anniversary. When I wake up tomorrow morning, out in front of that driveway, I want to see something shiny, silver, and then when I step on it, it can go from 0 to 200 in a matter of seconds." He said, "Honey, you got it." So he left early. The next morning, when she got up, she went through the kitchen, went into the garage, pushed the garage door, and there it was in the driveway, glistening in the sun. Beautiful, shiny, a brand new shiny bathroom scales. I hope you get my point, that you have to be very precise about where you're going, what you're doing. So I just want to say, let's avoid the ambiguity. Let's call it what it is. This is not a Bush issue now. This is an Obama issue when it relates to civil rights and civil liberties. And God willing, we must all press on to make this a better country and a better place to live.